Hi there, Melissa, and welcome back to the Scrappery. So today I am sharing another process video. It's a 12 by 12 layout, and I'm going to make a boy layout with this very girl themed kit. I have used the navy, I think it's navy cardstock, and a cut file that says "Be yourself, everyone else is taken," and it's by Virginia at Confessions of a Paper Addict Cufiles, and I'll put a link to it below. So I'm not going to fully take it off because I need to keep some parts of it on, but what I'm going to do is back it so you can see where I'm going to back it. I'll quickly show you because the light is terrible, but things that I have pulled are the labels. I've got this cut apart sheet. There's some items in here that might work well. Sam is 12, so I'm not going to do anything, not going to put any flowers or anything on it, but some of these might work. The camera, for example. I haven't printed off the photo yet, but he got new glasses and a new haircut, so I thought I'd document that. Items I have pulled from the kit are this piece called Good Vibes. I've got these cut aparts. That's the B side. I love this sheet of Polaroids and words and phrases in there. The B side's also beautiful. And then we've got some blue cardstock. It's Kaiser Craft or Kaiser Card and Duck Egg. I have pulled this wood grain as a potential background. I'm not sure yet. I've actually pulled both of those, so I don't know why I did that, but I did. Stay with me and I will get on with it.
So firstly I want to apologise about the light here. I filmed this 2 days ago, and because it's winter and it was about 4 o'clock, so I was really pushing it to be able to get it done, but I wanted to get it done because I didn't want to back this cut file on the screen. I wanted to do it in the evening. So here I'm just lifting off my mat, and you can see you might want to leave some pieces on the mat if you want to trace around them. And I just did it carefully. There were some bits where my silhouette hadn't cut it properly, but that wasn't the fault of the silhouette or even the cut file. It was the fault of me, because I think I'd put my setting onto pattern paper and it should have been on textured cardstock. But anyway, that is like a navy coloured cardstock from the kit, but it ends up looking black in the final layout. So I had thought about using the wood grain. I was really keen to do that, and it looked fine. But then I went through the kit one more time just to make sure, and I ended up loving that piece that you just saw. So I've backed it, and I'm just trying the wood grain again, but I go back to the other piece that I just showed you. So I've used, I think, 3 different pattern papers for backing the cut file. For the smaller words, I used the 4x6 cards that you get in the PLK, and for the everyone, I just used an offcut of that beautiful, my favourite paper in the kit actually, is that one. Then I wanted to use some of these labels from the cut apart sheet, and this comes from the PLK as well. And so I'm just using my trimmer, not very well. I'm actually probably better to cut it by hand, because I always end up having to trim things out with my scissors anyway, as you'll see in a sec. So I just trimmed out those 2 bottom ones. The rest were a little bit girly, and I didn't want that dark navy one because I already had enough dark navy going on. So here you can see me just trimming them out. And at this stage I wasn't even sure what I was going to be using them for, but I just knew I needed to use them. So when a kit is very girly, I have to work quite hard to make a boy layout, and this kit in particular is so girly that I don't think there was that much that I could really use for Sam because he is older. So I found that using a cut file really helped. It becomes a bit of an embellishment in itself. So here I'm just showing you how I trim out the insides of letters once they're backed. I had to glue those 2 little inner bits of the B down, and then once it's dried, because you don't want to do it too soon, but you want the paper to be dry so you can easily trim it out. So I just use my craft knife, which is a bit blunt, and then I use these little scissors to do the trimming. So now I am gluing it down, and I'm just using some liquid glass, which is like glossy accents. It's from close to my heart. It dries glossy, but it's clear as well. So just using a little bit, and if I had thought about this, I would have probably glued it in 3 parts, but I decided to put glue on all of it. Just makes it a bit tricky when it comes to turning it over and sticking it down. Obviously where the cut file's backed, it's a lot heavier than that piece in the middle. So I just realised I left that all in, but that's fine. So yeah, you just want to do it carefully. And another thing you can do is go back to the cut file, to the PNG file, and it'll show you where bits and pieces are meant to be. So I had a look to see where I was meant to line up this second part of the cut file. Now it doesn't really matter, it's up to you, but I wanted to have as much room as I could for the photo, and also to kind of space it out so it looked right, and that's where I went with. So now moving on to my photo. This is another 4x6 card with the hearts on it, and I'm using that to create a mat for my photo. So that's definitely one thing you can do if you get that kit, that PLK kit, and you don't do pocket scrapbooking or even Traveller's Notebook scrapbooking. You can use these cards for backing cut files and layers. So I've torn the edge of the bottom edge for a bit of interest, and then I decided to use these labels as like layers behind my photo. So I did think about putting both of them on either side, but as you'll see soon, I'll use that rainbow coloured one to put it behind the top and bottom of the photo. So I've just used a little bit of liquid adhesive, and I'm not too worried if this isn't exactly perfectly lined up, but I was very careful to trim off the bits of paper that I hadn't, or the edges that were uneven. So here I go, just trimming through the edge, and then I decided to make this the top and bottom. And I love how it turns out. It means I don't have to use any more paper, I can just use these labels. So the story behind this photo, I think I said before in my intro, was that Sam had got new glasses. He'd broken his old ones, and his old ones were like wire rimmed ones, and these ones were plastic and a bit more mature. He's off to high school next year. He's actually 12. And then I took a photo of him, or my husband sent me a photo of him with the new glasses on, and I told him I was going to scrapbook this layout and use that photo, and he didn't like it. And then he got a haircut the next, day before. And so my husband took another photo, and I thought, that's a great photo, it's a new haircut and new frames, and I was keen to use it for this layout. So Ava just came over there, you see her little hands trying to help or not help me. She loves all the scrapbook stuff too, and loves to look at it and touch it, and thinks that a lot of the stuff belongs to her. So these are the stickers, clear stickers, and the cardstock stickers. I found the cardstock stickers quite hard to get off the backing, so you've got to be careful, or you can actually split them in two. You can lift up the like the cardstock from the backing. And then I went with this little phrase that says, "These days." I love these beautiful Cocoa Vanilla Studio collections. They have so much in them. And then I found that little ticket from the ephemera pack that says "Good Stuff," and then another label that I thought would work really well, just to add a bit of layering and texture, I guess. And then for more texture, I'm just distressing the edge of that ticket to make it look more real. And I'm just using a close to my heart distressing tool. You can also use your scissors if you don't have a distressing tool. But I love distressing, and I found it's a lot easier. If I use my scissors, I'm more likely to cut or rip the edge too much. Then I'm just using all of the, like a clear heart with a blue outline. I think there's 3 in the entire kit. I want to use them all up so I don't have one just randomly there. So like I say, those are also quite difficult to get off the backing. Now, when I was filming this, I didn't realise that my phone stopped filming. So what you've missed is me putting some of those translucent stickers behind my photo. You can see them there. I've used the blue ones and I think one with some black detail on it. That's all you've missed, and you've missed me sticking down my photo. So not too much, and you can see the final outcome anyway. So then I wanted to add one of these flare badges, and it says, I think, the best. it was probably the least girly one of all of them, and I love using Flare. I love that it becomes a feature on my page. And then I'm just gluing that heart down. I wasn't sure, but then it was kind of floating around on my desk, and I hadn't put it away with the other items I wasn't going to use. Ava's there getting into my foam and wanting my tape, and I'm just adding my journaling, which is I think what I've just told you about his new frames and his new haircut. So that is my layout. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care.